And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black with gold trim. His official weight of 159 pounds, bang on. He has a record of 27 fights, 8 losses, 19 wins, and 3 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Chatham, Kent, England, United Kingdom, introducing Grant Go Get It! Dennis! And his opponents across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the white with grey trim. His official weight of 160.4 pounds. He has a record of 10 fights, 4 losses, 1 draw, 5 wins, and 2 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from South Ockenden, Essex, England, United Kingdom, introducing Kevin Reavell!
Okay, lads, 8-round contest. Keep it clean at all times, keep yourself protected at all times. Touch gloves, here we go. Good luck, lads.
Well, this pair were supposed to fight in February. That one was called off when Dennis got a cut mouth. So the delay has just heightened the anticipation.
Round 1.
Of course, Reavell fought on that bill with Rhys Levitsky as a step-up performer. That could have been another really tough night for Reavell. It was just bubbling up nicely, but head clash and it was all over after 3 rounds. So here we are, take 2. Reavell against Grant Dennis, and Dennis, who shared the ring with plenty of talented fighters, including Kevin Ojarko, of course, world rated, who's coming up next, Andy.
It's a good fight, this. It really is. It was a good match when it was made this time last year, and you look at the pair of them up there physically, and Dennis looks massive. I'm always impressed by people who come down in weight as they get older, because it's just a difficult thing to do, particularly when you're the age that he is, and this has already started well. Reavell was looking in typical Reavell form, wasn't he, against Levitsky? It was a real shame that one finished early, and then the fight against P.A. Gordon for the Southern Area title was a good fight. P.A. Gordon won the fight, and you get the feeling that he's going to rise above that level. But again, it was a good performance by Reavell.
Yeah, he continues to go in deep. He continues to be tested. He continues to be in fights that are a challenge for sure. He landed a couple of sharp shots there against Grant Dennis, who continues to defy father time with that physique of his. Certainly when I grow up, I wouldn't mind looking like Grant Dennis. Reavell's looking sharp here, and I know he was a bit frustrated with the way that the fight ended in February, because he'd got himself, he's now with Will Jones himself, or back with Will Jones, I should say, after a little hiatus elsewhere as with training camps, and he had whipped himself into, I think, career best shape, so he had the bit between his teeth, and I just get the sense that Reavell has carried that on from his last training camp.
Just got caught with the left hand there as he was moving off to his right hand side. Good jab there from Dennis.
Yeah, he can do a bit of everything, Reavell, but I think naturally he is a counter-puncher. I think that's the style that suits him best.
He's looked for that uppercut a couple of times in this opening round. Reavell hasn't quite got home with it, but must have spotted a gap.
Stabbing jab to the body from Reavell as well, but you're right, that's obviously something they've worked on, or that's something that they've seen, something they think will work, because jab, uppercut, and they're whipping left hook to the body this time. So yeah, into his 40s, Grant Dennis. Clearly they think the body might be the place to go.
I think this is going to be a really good fight to watch. It's already more than decent. We thought it would be, but it's bubbling up well. These are 2 good fighters, good ability level here between the pair of them, but they're looking to land those punches. They're looking to get amongst it right from the off.
Yeah, I like the look of Reavell. Just missing with that sharp counter there, Grant Dennis. Lovely 1-2 there from Reavell as well. He is looking very sharp in this first round.
Dennis Dennis, I think, looking to try and impose himself physically on Reavell, and he's made Reavell work very hard in that opening round. That's a good first 3 minutes to set the rest of the fight up. You can kind of see, I think, the roles they're going to try and play. Dennis is going to try and, as I said, impose himself physically, because he is bigger, isn't he? As if he can bully him a bit and take as much out of him, out of Reavell in these opening rounds as he can, thinking that it'll turn his way in the second half. Coming down in weight, though, 8 pounds is a lot as well, from super middleweight to middleweight. You look amazing, but maybe the energy won't quite be there as it was when you're up at the higher weight.
And particularly if Reavell's going to land those whipping body shots, and it was from both sides of the attack there from Reavell. I thought he looked mustard in that first round, but as Andy said, it's set up wonderfully with the
corners,
the
10 seconds
from Dennis, the tactics, and whether Reavell can keep
Seconds
this up
out.
and continue
Round
to
two.
pick him off, and to what extent, coming down in weight at his age, whether that's going to have any bearing on the destination of this fight as well for Grant Dennis.
There's 11 years between, 12 years rather, between them age-wise
Mad,
as
isn't
well.
it? Mad,
It is, because you look at the pair of them there, and Reavell, he's got a bit of grey in the thatch there. You kind of think he's older than he is, I think.
Certainly physically, I don't think this is as good as I've seen Reavell, and I think those two training camps really have laid a foundation for him. And I've called quite a few of his fights over the last couple of years, and physically I think this is as good as I've seen him. And certainly tactically and technically, he's looking good so far. Maybe one of the other things tonight, Andy, is that the coming down in weight, maybe just the difference in speed is quite decisive at the moment.
It does look that way. He landed that right hand, or rather he had that right hand blocked when he went up top with it, and then he immediately switched it into an uppercut on the ropes there, probably about 30 seconds ago, and then sets his feet and lets another right hand go.
But that was better. He just there was a lovely counter from Grant Dennis, first sort of semblance of success from him, and there was a nod of the head from Kevin Reavell, but then he quickly came back with one of his own.
There's a nice tight left hook there, though, from Dennis, as Reavell was looking for that right again, and swapping good shots left to the body there from Reavell.
Combinations as well. Left hook. He's putting his punches together nicely, Reavell, but it's bubbling up beautifully, very early doors. Might just be a little bit of blood in the mouth, I think, of Grant Dennis, and whether that's the cut from the past coming back, or whether that's a new issue, but we'll keep an eye on that. This is a concerted ploy, isn't it? The body attack, very much as it was for Zepeda against Tevin Farmer over the weekend. If you saw that one, if you don't, get on your computer, get on the app. You'll be able to watch that back on DAZN. That Fight Night replay available right now, and that was a cracker. That was a cracker of a fight. How Tevin Farmer sort of navigated his way through that one was something of a marvel, but it was a sustained body attack and the ploy right from the very start from Zepeda, and we've got exactly the same here from both flanks from Kevin Reavell.
Just short with the uppercut there, Reavell, right towards the end of the round as the bell goes.
Another good round. I like Reavell, I like what he's doing. As I say, this is as good as I've seen him.
And there's that uppercut. He just whipped it underneath, and it kind of half got through, I think. But he's nice and sharp, isn't he, with everything that he throws.
Looks fast.
But Dennis has got good poise about him too. I think he would do well to try and use the jab a bit more, Dennis, because physically he is the bigger of the two in pretty much every way. Try and use that jab. Just land on something. If you land it clean, then lovely, but just shoulders, chest, something, because he's quick, Reavell. If he could just
corners,
set
10
him,
seconds.
Reset and start again. Just slow him down a little bit.
standing between rounds?
Seconds out.
Reavell, Andy?
Round 3.
I'm never a fan. I'm never a fan. But you see plenty of people do it, don't you?
Yeah, well, I suppose the idea is that sometimes maybe the
Psychological.
yeah, and also make an impression on your opponent, but also the act of getting up and down as you go on. Maybe that in itself tiring, but yeah, I'd be inclined to take the pause. The pause that refreshes as we move into round 3, then scheduled for 8. This one, good sharp start from Kevin Reavell. Was a lovely right hand counter in that previous round from Grant Dennis, and he's got a lot of experience to fall back on. Dennis, a lot of experience. He's been in with good fighters.
There's that left to the body again. He's landed that a couple of times in the last 10-15 seconds. Then just dips his knees and jabs to the body. Good variety.
Those are painful shots, Andy. Those stabbing jabs right to the solar plexus. You can see all the thinking and the quality unfolding here.
What he does well, Reavell, is he kind of slides in, doesn't he, from distance. Comes in behind that left hand, throws the right hand almost arcing over the top of it. And I think he cuts that gap down and is on you a bit quicker than you think he's probably capable of.
I've seen a lot of Reavell. As I say, he's a good boxer, Reavell. He could easily have a 10-0 record. Easily.
He's chosen not to, though, hasn't he, basically?
Exactly. We're doubling the left hook. First one was to the body. They both exchanged shots, and you really can't take your eyes off this one. So much going on, a lot of quality.
He's finding it difficult to land, really, at the minute, Dennis. He's got to stick with this, try and stay tight, stay compact, get his punches off when he can. He's wearing these punches to the body pretty well at the moment. I think he'll still be confident that come the second half, he could turn this in his favour, because Reavell is winning these rounds, we would say, but he's working hard to win them. And that's what you've got to be telling yourself if you're Grant Dennis, isn't it?
Yeah, if Dennis isn't going to do something else, if there isn't a plan B, he's hoping that Reavell's going to slow down. Left hook to the body again from Reavell, but he's definitely going to have to hope that Reavell's speed is becoming less of a factor, because right now it's the defining feature of this fight. Well, Kevin Reavell is absolutely fizzing tonight. But as Andy said, he is having to work, he's having to use the feet, but everything's flowing, and at the moment it's working for him. And the beauty of boxing, as we spoke about earlier on, Andy, is momentum in boxing isn't everything, because you are one moment away from that rug from being pulled from underneath your feet. 1 second away from it all changing.
And that's exactly what Dennis has to believe in the corner. It's not going his way at the minute. It's not like it's some kind of one-sided beatdown by any stretch, but they might be telling him in the corner here just gently. We need to get on the board here. Whether they told him that he may have dropped those first 3 rounds, it's interesting to see how corners treat that, but they'll be telling him we maybe just need to up things a little bit here, because we can't let too many of these slip by. It's an 8-round fight. We're in round 4 now.
And is that over on the far corner in the sunglasses, that Darwin Martinez come back to watch the action? I think it is.
It absolutely is.
If you take my advice, take Andy's advice, when you get sort of 25 minutes later on or sometime next week, go on the app, go online, and just watch back. Go down the fight card and just go back and watch Zach Fee against Darwin Martinez if you get a chance, or if that's on the YouTube channel, because that will be worth your time, I can assure you. Meanwhile, halfway through this one, Is it more of the same? Can Reavell keep up the pace and the speed? Or can Grant Dennis pin him down, slow him down, change the play?
That was better there from Dennis just a few moments ago. He backed him up behind the jab, and then as he tried to move off to his left, caught him with a right hand into the body. He's got to try and be first a bit more here, Dennis. As you said earlier in the fight, Reavell, generally speaking, is more of a counter-puncher, but he's got into a nice groove, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely got his mojo tonight, and it's up to Dennis to shake him out of that. Because at the moment, while he's having to work hard, he is relatively comfortable in his own skin right now. Just missed that right hand by a whisker, didn't he? The chin was absolutely wide open and beckoning him, but he couldn't find the target, Dennis.
He just shaved him, I think. I saw a slight reaction, but you're right. If he connected full force there, then that could have been a problem. And when he's moving to his left, Reavell, he is just a little bit open to that, because that lead hand is low, slightly wild as he launches himself into a left hand there. 40 seconds remaining in round 4, and just some signs in this round maybe that, not that he's feeling the pace in any kind of really worrying way, Reavell, but Dennis has made him work hard right from the very start here, and there's not much in this round.
No. Reavell still look good behind the jab, still landing hooks to the body.
But Dennis having a bit more joy in those kinds of areas, getting up a little bit closer. Reavell just trying to stuff in that uppercut.
It's been good stuff, really good stuff for the first half plus of the fight. And we're now going to move into the second half. Will it get a bit tougher for Reavell? As Dennis just managed to find a little bit of a foothold in the fight.
I think that's what that was. I wouldn't say he necessarily did enough to win it, but it was definitely his best round. I think it was definitely his best round of the fight. And this being an 8-rounder, again, this is on the referee's scorecard, Sean McAvoy.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Like a bit of run DMC, Andy?
I absolutely do, Steve-O, yeah. I do, I really do.
Too.
Seconds out.
Even more,
Round 5.
even more so a little bit of the tracksuit tops and the footwear as we move into round number 5 then. Largely speed, punch selection of Kevin Reavell has been the eye-catching feature, the scoring.
That's good though from Reavell actually, because he just got a hold of Dennis and walked him back to the ropes, and that just shows your opponent that you've got that physical strength. Because physically there is quite a big difference between the two, as I mentioned, and they both threw right hands, and Reavell, I think, feels like he's registered because he's going after Dennis a little bit here.
He is. I think he landed 2, one after the other. First one was meaty enough, but he followed it up with another one. Fair play, Grant Dennis, undeterred or perhaps stung into some action, is looking to get forward now, throwing his own shots. A couple of wicked right hands there from Reavell.
That's what he's got to do here, Dennis. Good right hand into the pit of the stomach there from Reavell as Dennis comes forward, but
Tell you what, though, Dennis is motivated tonight, isn't he? Understandably, this is it's a big opportunity, maybe to have one last hurrah. Otherwise, you're in danger of just becoming the guy in the other corner, the opponent, the person who's been in the ring with such and such, has been rounds with such and such, and an opportunity for tonight for one of these to just get that little push into a big fight.
Bit of blood coming from the nose there of Reavell. minute remaining in round 5.
He looks strong and well, Reavell, doesn't he? I sort of wonder if he is a natural middleweight, if he probably should be a 154 fighter, really. But he's happy to take the opportunities, whether it's, you know, middleweight, super middle, he, you know, fight whoever. A little bit of blood maybe from the nose of Reavell.
There is.
Testament that it's not one-way traffic by any means. There again, Reavell looking for that uppercut, and he's not quite been able to land it tellingly, but that punch he has several times through this round. Love the way he, having landed the right hand, dipped down and then looked for the left hook to the body again. So some clever stuff, some really good stuff from Reavell tonight.
Dennis took that well because he was coming forward. Reavell opened out, timed it perfectly, and the biting point on it was absolutely spot on. It was a really, really good shot.
And another left hook right on the bell there from Kevin Reavell, who is, I think in performance terms, having the night of his life. I think he's looked mustard tonight. So far in boxing, you always have to say, so far.
It's interesting what you were talking about with weight divisions there, because it can be hard to find the right one, particularly if you're up at 154, 160, and people think about it, don't they, often, that it's this kind of competition as to how low can you go on Friday lunchtime for a Saturday night fight, but you just need to find a weight at which you've got the most energy and you feel the strongest. And I always come back to Frotch when people talk about this.
Yeah.
Frotch was a super middleweight who walked around at probably
Corners,
175,
10 seconds.
maybe not even that. He'd weigh in, and on the night he'd be 12 stone 3, sometimes fighting people who were
Seconds
13
out.
stone plus. But that was his weight,
6.
and that's where he felt best. And maybe with Reavell, it'll always look like a small middleweight, but if this is where he feels best when the first bell goes, that's where you want to be, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt there's become a culture of get boiled down to what is barely comfortable and then rehydrate to several weights above. And there's no doubt there's a culture of that these days, and there's a perception among boxers, most boxers, that they have to be 2 or 3 weights heavier than when probably where they should be lying. And I wonder if that's something that maybe will change over time. But yeah, the Frotches of this world are absolute rarities, aren't they? More likely it's Canelo's. What did Canelo outweigh when he fought Khan all those years back? When it was something frightening.
Oh, the on-the-night weights were hilarious, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think Ami was pretty much 155 because the fight was made at 155, wasn't it? I think Canelo was
light heavy.
Yeah.
Mad. But that's the culture. A couple of prodding shots there from Grant Dennis. As the pace drops down the stretch, will he get more opportunity? Because you feel he needs them.
Got through with the left hand there, just off the back of a straight right, midway through the round.
And there he nearly clipped Reavell again, as Reavell was trying to get back out of range with his hands down low. And maybe as the pace slows, maybe as Reavell's speed becomes less of a telling factor, maybe there'll just be little openings and avenues for Grant Dennis. Maybe.
There's another really good body attack there, though, from Reavell. Went up top, the two punches were blocked by the gloves, and then just went to the body. Right hand, left hand. Dennis has soaked them up all night long so far.
His tactics have been bang on, Reavell.
There's that uppercut again. It hasn't quite worked for him, but you can see the thinking behind it.
Oh, lovely fast 1-2 there. They loved that up on the balcony. And back comes Dennis with his own right hand. There's just been little cameos from Dennis throughout, haven't there? Just not enough. No sense of momentum. He's clipped again there with a left hook.
I think that left hand maybe shook him a little bit there, Dennis, because the done some good work to the body, then just pulled back out with his chin up in the air a bit, and he got hit with that left hand, and he got it back together really quickly, but just for a second or two there, I wondered whether if Reavell had jumped on him, he could have got something done. But that replay just shows us what we've seen all night long. Left hand, right hand, rolled off to his right hand side, and he's never stayed in one place long enough, has he? He's never got greedy, as we describe it sometimes, set his feet and looked to really tee off. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 sometimes, and then he moves. It's been a good fight, hasn't it? It's been a high quality fight.
Yeah, it's been terrific. It's just teases us up nicely, because the quality's going to ramp up and ramp up. World class Kevin Ojako up against Harley Collison, who's coming down from super middle. Unbelievable.
Corners, 10 seconds.
It's a fight at 154. I mean, that's an incredible jump down for Collins, who is big and strong, and he is going to tear after
Seconds
the
out. Round 7.
He's got a lot of quality. And then our big one, Urshu against James for the Commonwealth title at welterweight. Really looking forward to that. Plenty of people think it's the coming out party from Urshu, but James is a really neat technical boxer with a terrific jab and good feet. So looking forward to that one. That's our top of the bill in a couple of fights' time. Here, a couple of rounds to go for Grant Dennis to try and maybe pull this one out of the bag, out of the fire, because I think largely Reavell has controlled the rounds and might potentially have won them all.
I wouldn't be shocked if he has won them all. He's just on the better quality of punching, the higher volume of punching, and that's what you're looking for. So I don't think this has been a difficult fight to score. Dennis has been competitive, absolutely, right from the start, and as we've been saying, he would have been sticking to the belief that he could make Reavell work hard enough and have enough of an impact that in the second half things would turn his way, but that hasn't happened, not yet anyway.
And I think what will please Will Jones and Reavell's team is the consistency of the quality throughout. He's maintained quite a high level all the way through. No real dip. A couple of rounds where Dennis has got a bit closer and it's been more competitive, but the quality has been high all the way through.
He doesn't waste much, does he? He's accurate.
Oh, that's probably the best uppercut. There's been so many attempts throughout. I was just about to say it's probably the only thing. Misfired would be too strong, but it's the only punch that he's attempted throughout that's not quite landed for him, and there he just managed to put it right.
Throws that right hand and then just rolls away off to his right hand side, and that's what's been really good about him. We've mentioned it a few times now, but at no point has he thrown anything and then just stood still and looked at it. Every time he punches, he moves off that punch. And that's made it really hard for Dennis to get hold of him. He's stuck to the task. He's put everything into this, but he's not had that much encouragement, has he? To be honest.
No, there's been little glimmers, little cameos, little shots here or there, big shots here or there, but too few and far between really to have any impact on the scorecards and really to deter Reavell from this roll that he's got on, this high that he's been buzzing off.
You were talking about momentum earlier, and he hit that groove quick, didn't he? He put those sails up and they caught the wind early on, and Dennis, we talked about it at the end of round 3, didn't we, that at that stage the corner are probably already thinking, we've got to really start to get into this. They don't want to, you never want to panic your fighter, but really from that point onwards, and even before that, he needed something, didn't he, to turn things around.
Yeah, he was out of the blocks quick, wasn't he? They say with those 100-metre sprinters, they've reached top speed by 60 metres. The rest is just to try and maintain it and try not to decelerate. He hit top speed pretty much from round 1, and he's managed to maintain it all the way through. Slight dip maybe in the pace, but no real let-off in the quality from
Corners,
Reavell.
10 seconds.
And eye-catching shots throughout this one from him.
Seconds out. 8 and final round.
He needs to knock out Grant Dennis, doesn't he? Quite
He
simply.
does. He does. He needs something spectacular. And there was a telling moment just before they came to the centre of the ring between Kevin Reavell and Will Jones. Warm embrace, big smile on both their faces, as if to say, this is what we've been working towards. This is what we've been doing in the gym. This is what we knew we could do. And it's not always the way, Andy, to being able to deliver on the big nights. Why the good ones are so great.
No, that's what it's all about. It's a very harsh, unforgiving sport like that, because you get the date and you work towards it. You have to try and peak and give off your best for that hour or less than that.
Imagine not quite feeling it, not quite being on it. No second chances really in boxing on the night. And of course, people will point to the ages and the stages of their career, and I think they're right to include that in the discussion. But I think on this evidence tonight, this version of Kevin Reavell, he'd have given Grant Dennis problems at any stage of Grant Dennis's career, I'd venture to suggest.
I would agree.
Dennis hasn't stopped trying, hasn't stopped attempting to work it out, to change the play, to put it on Reavell. He has kept that determination, that desire all the way throughout this. He's just been half a step behind, maybe a step behind throughout. And Kevin Reavell has been sharp right from the very off.
And when you find that rhythm early, fighters say this a lot, don't they, that if you're the one dictating the pace, even if the pace is pretty high, you're doing it because it suits you, and you can just keep that tempo going. If the other fighter can impose himself or herself on you and make you go at their pace, even if it's slower than you're used to, it can really take it out of you. But he just found that flow that athletes in all sports talk about constantly, and he found it early. And try as he has, Dennis, he's never been able to knock him out of that rhythm.
Well, there goes the clapper as we count down then. Another body shot from Reavell, which has been one of the stories of his night. Lovely performance that. Perhaps the best of his career, Kevin Reavell. He really slotted it all together. Yes, he might have got Grant Dennis at the right time, but I think this is more about what Reavell was capable of, maybe what Reavell is capable of going forward.
Yeah, I think so. It was a good fight right from the start, and we could see the kind of condition that Dennis came in. We talked about the fact that he's come down from super middleweight to middleweight, so there's obviously still a lot of ambition there. He's not just prolonging his career to try and pick up the odd paycheck. He wants to win things still. It's really obvious. When you look at that performance, it's really obvious. He didn't really, and this happens to fighters as they get older, he's still capable of boxing a good fight at a very respectable pace. But that higher gear that you need, that he really needed to go into, even in desperation at times, to try and make an impact on Reavell, it's not really there anymore, I wouldn't say. And when you get to the age he is, the gears, they go, don't they? So he's got plenty to offer still, but he was up against a man tonight who was right on top of his game, wasn't he? You said it from the start, and I make you right. I thought that was a really good performance.
And good news for him, that cut that he suffered in February, that's not an issue at all, so they've done a good job with that. And I think Will Jones and the team, that'll just whet everyone's appetite. And plenty of people, I think, looking from the outset will say Kevin Reavell probably deserves a break in terms of the matchmaking, but whether Reavell would settle for that.
He won't want one, will he?
I don't think he would. what he'll settle here for, though, is a convincing points win, because that's the way we read it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Sean McAvoy scores the bout 78-74. And your winner, Kevin Reavell!
4 rounds in it, 6-2 to Kevin Reavell. And I think you'd say at least. But it was a dominant display from him, and I think as good as he's looked. Maybe he's in the best shape. Maybe finally he's got the right kind of setup. Maybe he's just in a good place. But he's certainly whet the appetite for where he goes. And the interesting thing will be how hard he's pushed and how hard he wants to be pushed, and what kind of fights they're going to make for him now.
I mean, that's a meaningful win, isn't it? That's a really meaningful win. So you'd imagine that will propel him back towards certainly the area title level. Constantine Williams has won that Southern Area middleweight title now by stoppage. So whether that's the route they're looking to go down or whether Johnny's got something else for him, but we'll find out. We'll find out in the post-fight interview, because he's good to watch. He's good to watch. But he's not just some bruiser, he's a good fighter.
Yeah, that was quality. He's got son Carson with him as well. I think we can hear from them both with Ali.
Kevin, what a performance, what a win. That fight was a long time coming.
Yeah.
How did it feel to finally have the fight and get the win?
It just feels good to be back on winning ways and have an interview with you. It's been three fights since I've won, so yeah, it's good to be interviewed by you again, winning. So back to winning ways, eh, Carson? You said I was going to win, didn't you? But now, respect to Grant, he's a warrior. Listen, we had a little bit of commotion on the build-up, but that's what it's about, isn't it? So respect to Grant Dennis.
Now, there was a lot of talk in the build-up, a lot of back and forth. Is that the type of fight you were expecting it to be, how it went?
Yeah, I knew he was tough. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you the truth, I thought we was having a 6-round fight. Do you know what I mean? And then yesterday it was 8 rounds. So I had to adapt, and that's another thing that you've got to be able to do. So I knew he was strong. I knew it was hard to get him out there. He's been in there with some heavy hitters, and they've all, hardly any of them have got him out. So I know he's a warrior, and I knew I had to box and stick to my game plan, and that's what I did.
Now you've got that win. What does that do for you? Where do you go from here?
I go straight to the kebab shop after. That's where I go. Have a nice bit of grub, and then, yeah, we move forward from there.
Anything in the pipeline, or are you just waiting to see what's offered?
Wait until the main man, Johnny, gives me another opportunity, yeah? I can't fault him enough either. I respect for him for always having me on, win, lose or draw. I'm always here. And that's why, because I go in there and I have a fight, and I do my best.
Well, it's great to see you back to winning ways. Well done.
Thank you very much.